Yes, certainly. The reason that I wrote the book in the first place was I was getting so many phone calls from people asking the same things really. Is it real? How do I know it's part of my experience? How do I deal with it? Who do I go to? How do I get my family to understand what's going on for me? What about my kids? All these kinds of questions. So I thought, well, the only way that I can really help a broader number of people, because there's only one of me, there's not many resources out there coming from a professional perspective and therapeutic perspective. So if I can provide a resource book or a way of getting through the opening up to their experiences right through to, dealing with and integrating it, I needed a book that would take them through that process. So what I tried to do was actually isolate the most important things that people wanted to know and write stories on that. And I started off with someone's story, how confused, and they were frightened, they didn't know if it was real, they didn't even want to know whether it was real, all these kinds of things. And with that story, which I call the letter, it says in it so many things that tell me that this person is having experiences, lots of things people don't even know about. And then it went into, have you seen a UFO? It goes into all the kinds of things you might feel having this experience, how you feel different, how you feel confronted by seeing something that nobody else has seen. It goes into feelings. And from that, I took it into, okay, so how do we actually know contact is real? All the real tangible things like marks on the body, from waking up the next morning with nosebleeds, the fear of clowns, all those kinds of things. And it then goes into a young lady, a case study, that tells you that some people have been diagnosed as being mentally ill because they've told their doctor that they're seeing aliens, and how in fact we've got to change that. We've got to change the way that those in traditional psychology see this as an aberration. See the fact that you're seeing or hearing things that other people can't necessarily see doesn't necessarily mean you're crazy. It just means that you're more multidimensionally aware, that you have a broader way of seeing your reality. So it goes into that. And then it takes you to, what does a researcher do? What does a therapist do? How will you be helped by either of them? How do you get your own resource? How do you set up your own support network if you're on your own and you don't know anyone who's going to help you? It goes into the star kits. How do you know if your child's having experiences? It goes into implants. What are they? It goes into things like missing pregnancies, women who've become pregnant and then suddenly their pregnancy's gone with no explanation. What does that mean? It also goes into the strange things people do after contact, the strange languages they may start to come out with, the strange scripts they may write, the strange geometric drawings some people do. And it goes into, as a therapist, how do I work? How does taking people into hypnosis help them understand something that may have happened that they can't recall, like missing time? You go on a journey, it takes longer than it should do. What's happened? You may have just seen lights, your car may have stalled. What happened in that time? So in hypnosis we can actually explore that and find out what's happened. So it gives people answers. They get to know what's happened and get to understand. And it takes it into, what's the big picture with this? Where are we going with this? Why this is happening? All the things to do with DNA changes and what have you. So the whole book is like a package to help those with experiences. And I found that I got help with it, that sometimes when I was writing something maybe on implants, that I'd get phone calls with people that said, I think I've got an implant. So it was almost like I was being assisted on some level to put the relevant information in at the right time through the book. So I honestly believe in some way I was assisted and guided with some of the material as well. So for me, the most important thing is giving people a tool to help themselves, even if they're in a society they've got nowhere to go. So that was the main reason for doing it.
Mary, after last night's riveting presentation at the university, you did mention this new cutting edge work that you're involved in with regard to using sounds and frequencies in healing. What I'm very interested to find out about is, first of all, what is it? And second of all, I'm very interested to find out how it differs from the previous sort of New Age, by using New Age people using light and sound, etc. Could you tell us a little more about this?
Working with hypnosis has taught me a great deal about how to work with the subconscious mind. And that's always fascinated me, how people can come to their own answers once you take them into that space. And they can actually access extra information that they have got no memory of or no awareness of in their conscious mind. And healing can come from that, from the insight or awareness that comes from accessing what I call that inner wisdom. So I've produced something that can help people actually work in their own way through my new products, which are all about working with the mind. And the reason that I found it very important, I've always been keen on understanding the latest science to do with sound and frequency. And some of the recent research coming out of Russia, for example, is showing how even human language can change the very nature of DNA. That the frequency of human language can literally alter faulty genes, for example, and rearrange them so that the cutting edge will be in the future. That instead of cutting out faulty genes, we will just need to know the right kind of frequency and language to do it. And it's on that principle that I found that, you know, healing words and things like positive affirmations that can change the hard drive that we operate from, because Dr. Bruce Lipton also has talked about working in epigenetics, and he said that even the DNA that's in a cell is only part of the story. Our cells are intelligent and that we can reprogram them because they're programmed right from when we're in uterus, right through to 6 years old. Everything goes on our hard drive. These cells are intelligent enough to take that information and create our reality. But sometimes they're faulty messages. You've been told as a child at 3 that you're stupid. You will take that on your hard drive, and even as an adult you'll operate from you are stupid, even though you may know on another level consciously that you're not. So there are ways now to actually reprogram the hard drive with these positive information that goes into the subconscious mind through these frequencies in altered states. So what I've created is tools with my CDs, and New Mind Records is about creating a new mind. It's about putting onto the hard drive new healthy messages that you know, to give you a new way of seeing your world and reality. And you can do this. We can all do it. The affirmations, every day in every way I'll get better and better, actually will work, and they do work. You can actually do that. You can reprogram your hard drive to be healthier, to live longer, to have a better memory. All you need is the right frequencies. And so we've worked with frequencies that go into that help people to go into a trance state. We use binaural beats that balance the left and right hemisphere so that you're